Hello everybody, this is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Wednesday morning to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. Today, the 12-13 Heat are going to play in Game 5 against the 07-08 Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals. So if we win this episode, we advance on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the four remaining teams in the Eastern and Western Conference that play in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, I call that the Elite Four. So now, that's going to be somewhat of a surprise there. I mean, there's going to be the final two, the Elite Four, the Superb Eight, and the Sweet 16. So it's going to be somewhat exciting of a matchup to see, and I can't wait till NBA Finals comes around because we'll be playing against the 97-98 Utah Jazz if we make the finals, which we definitely will. So without a further ado, we'll show you the uniforms, and we'll see you into tip-off. Alright, so the Boston Celtics, they're going to be wearing their classic away 05 through 14 green uniforms on the road. Meanwhile, for the Miami Heat, they're going to be wearing their classic home 09 through 17 white uniform. So without further ado, we'll see you at tip-off. Alright, it is tip-off time here at the American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. So Kendrick Perkins and the Boston Celtics win the tip-off. So now Rajon Rondo loses a basketball. Mario Chalmers is going to pick it up, going to pass it over to Shane Battier. So Battier gets it in the paint for 2 points. So now Chalmers gets that assist. So it's now 2-0 here in Miami. So now Paul Pierce, there's a nice decent block, but then it was Kendrick Perkins that picked up that offensive rebound. Boston really didn't pass it along the side there. So now LeBron James, the Akron, Ohio native, going to make a three for the Heat. And this actually goes in as well. So it's now 5-2 here in South Florida in the 3:05. So now Rondo with possession. And it looks like Rajon Rondo is going to make that in for 2 points. So it is now 5-4. James going to pass it over to Chalmers. Chalmers passing it over to Bosch. He loses possession of the basketball. So now Paul Pierce makes a spin move. They're not boxing out there. So now Garnett actually gets it in. So Boston takes this lead. It is now, 6-5. So now LeBron James, the Akron, Ohio native, makes a slam dunk here. And it's now 7-6. Here in the semifinals. So now, if we win this, Boston's done, and we will advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. So there is a nice, decent block by LeBron James. We're going to pass it over to LeBron James, and then going to pass it to the other side with D. Wade, and Wade makes that three happen, and it's now 10-6 here at the American Airlines Arena here in South Florida. So now Wade makes this steal. He is actually going to get blocked there, but there is a foul on Paul Pierce. So now Dwayne Wade, the Chicago native, goes to the free-throw line, makes that one in, and will he get the second one in? Yes, he will, and it's now 12-6 here in the 3:05. So now Sam Castle loses a basketball, then he picks it back up. Then he's going to pass it over to Ray Allen, number 20. So Ray Allen, number 34, is not on the court right now, as you can see. And we're going to use Rashad Lewis. Going to pass it over to Ray. Oh, wait, yes, he is. We did some depth chart substitutions here. So now Ray Allen, number 34, makes that three happen. And it's now 15-9 here in South Florida. So now Allen going to pass it over to Chalmers. We get this one in for 2, and we are actually going to take a break. All right, Sam Cassell makes a three, so it's now 22-14 here in the American Airlines Arena. LeBron James hits a three, and it's now going to be 24-14 with 14.4 seconds to go. LeBron James going to make a backwards dunk, and it's now going to be 26-14. So 10.5 seconds are left in this first quarter here in the 3:05. So what will they do? Evidently, they're just going to probably dribble this one out and actually score it in with Tony Allen with the layup. And we're just going to actually dribble it till the end of the first quarter, and this ends it, the first quarter here in Miami. The Heat are up by 10, 26-16. Alright, so it's now 26-16. We're going to pass it over to LeBron James, the Akron, Ohio native. And he drills a three, and it's now 29-16 here in Miami, Florida. So now Tony Allen with possession of the basketball loses it. Then Glenn Davis going to pass over to Tony Allen. And then it is Rajon Rondo picking up 2 points off of that play. So now James passing it over to Shane Battier. And it's now going to be 31-18. So Boston is up by Boston is trailing by 13 points. And Miami, they try to make the steal there, but now Rondo knocks the ball out of Boston. And they get it in for 2. So it's now 20-31. Bosch passing it over to LeBron James. So LeBron James, he is going to make a 3 happen for the Heat. And it's now going to be 34-20. So it's a 14-point Miami Heat lead in this one. So the Celtics are going to take a timeout. We are going to take a break. Alright, and now LeBron James with possession of the basketball. He is going to knock down a 3 for the Heat. And it's now 45-27. So now Sam Cassell, he has possession of the basketball. And he's going to pass over to Kevin Garnett. So now Sam Cassell has possession still. But now Sam Cassell, he's trying to go into the paint. So he makes that layup in. So it's now going to be a 45-29 Miami Heat lead. So now Wade with the dunk. It's now going to be 47-29. So Miami's up by 18 at this point. Wade is going to make a steal. And now D Wade, he is going to go not far from the paint, but not in the paint exactly. But it's going to be 49-29. So now Sam Cassell passing it over to Paul Pierce, and he has possession, but not anymore. So I'm going to use LeBron James. He's going to knock down a 3. He has been player of the game for most of the episodes, and most of our victories, rather, throughout this series. And I think there was just one episode that D Wade was player of the game. So it's mainly been LeBron James off and on. So now Wade, there's only 12 seconds to go in the first half. So now Wade is going to fire it from 3. And it's now going to be 55-31. So now Paul Pierce is going to pass over Sam Cassell. And he's going to attempt it from half court. I do not think he's going to make it, and he does not. So the halftime score is the Miami Heat 55, the Boston Celtics 31. And we are dominating at home by 24. So if we keep this lead up, we're going to end up taking the W. And we're going to win the series and advance on to the Eastern Conference Final. Alright, we are back from the half. So now Dwayne Wade is out on the court for the Miami Heat. Going to pass over to LeBron James. And there is a foul on Ray Allen, number 20. And Dwayne Wade did get the assist. So now LeBron James is going to go to the free throw line once at it. So it's now 58-31. So now Paul Pierce with the possession, but then he picks it back up for the Boston Celtics. So now Pierce passing it over to Kendrick Perkins. So now Kendrick Perkins gets that one in. So Paul Pierce is going to get an assist. So now Chris Bosh passing over to James. So LeBron James makes that dunk. It's now 60-33. And now Rajon Rondo has possession. He loses the basketball. LeBron James picking it up for the Heat, makes that decent layup in there. It's now 62-33, and it's now 28 points for LeBron James today, 10 of which were in the paint. And now Rondo losing the basketball. Battier makes the steal. So now Battier gets it in there for 2. So it's now 64-33. Shane Battier with 6 points already. And there's only 3 minutes to go in the third. So now LeBron James going to pass it over to Battier. So now Bosch is going to, James is going to pick up the assist for the Heat. And we're leading this by halfway. And it's 66 divided by 2 equals 33. So now we're going to use Shane Battier, going to use Dwayne Wade. And Wade gets it in for 2, so it's now 68-35 at this point of the game. And now Rajon Rondo losing the basketball, then picks it back up. So now Rondo passes it over to Garnett, and Garnett makes the dunk. It's now 68-37. So now Bosch, I'm going to use some James here. So now LeBron James is going to hit that 3. And he gets it in there, so it's now 71-37 with a minute 53 to go in the third quarter. Paul Pierce makes the dunk. It's now 71-39. LeBron James with 31, Paul Pierce with 13. Both scoring leaders for both teams, by the way. And Dwayne Wade has a shooting foul, so this means Rondo will go to the free-throw line. And he's going to get this, actually misses that, but then we pick up a rebound. Rashad Lewis going to pass over to Mike Miller, and Mike Miller gets this one in for 2, so it's now 73-41. All right, the 12-13 Heat, they've made 6 more three-pointers than the 07-08 Boston Celtics, so now we got Mike Miller out on the court, gets it in there for 2, so it's now 75-44. 87% and 100% for field goals. Boston with 87 and Miami with 100. James Posey makes that 3 happen, and it's now 75-47. So now we're going to use Mike Miller and then Rashad Lewis and then Ray Allen hitting a 3 for the Heat, and it's now going to be 78-47. So now Rajon Rondo with possession of the basketball. He's going to pass it over to Tony Allen. Gets it in. And it's now 49-78. We're going to attempt a three-pointer with Ray Allen here. We're going to try to do it from the corner. And we actually get this one in for 3. And it's now going to be 81-49. 31.2 seconds to go. Rajon Rondo with that possession of the basketball. Where is he going to take this direction to? He's going to intercept that off to Mike Miller and then Rashad Lewis. And then we're going to pass it over to Ray Allen once at it again. Gets it in for 2. It's now 83-49. So now Rondo, there is a foul. And we're going to take a timeout. I just decided to take this timeout mainly to do my depth chart substitution, so that's why I just change it up. All right, and Rajon Rondo goes to the free-throw line. He makes that attempt in. Will he get that second one in mine? So it's now 83-50. It's going to be, he doesn't make it in for the 51st point of the game, evidently. So now James going to make that 3 fly for the Heat, and it's now going to be 85-50, so Miami's up by 35, and Rondo losing that basketball, and it is James making that buzzer beater to end the third, so it's now 87-50. Miami is up by 37, so it looks like Miami is going to take the W and beat Boston in the series 4-1. So we're going to check out the player of the game, the assist of the game. The player of the game is like about a minute, 50 seconds left into the game. But Dwayne Wade passing over to LeBron James, that is your assist of the game. It was in the paint though, so now Boston has possession of the basketball now. So now Brian Scalabrine has possession. He's going to pass over to Sam Cassell. So now Sam Cassell, there's an out-of-bounds call. He touched the basketball in the black paint, so this means that we're going to pass it over to Udonis Haslem, the Miami native, and then Jeff Teague. He was never a member of the 12-13 Heat, so why are they putting active players that never played for that team? So it's now 89-50. So now Tony Allen. There's a nice block out of that one. We're going to use LeBron James. Going to make a three happen for the Heat. Gets it in. There is a loose ball foul. We do get a three-pointer out of that one. But take a look at LeBron James's dunk there. And it is Boston with the possession of the basketball now. Scott Pollard going to pass over to Sam Cassell, and now they lose possession. Teague going to pass over to James. LeBron James with that dunk. It is now going to be 94-50. So now LeBron James makes the steal. He is going to go in the paint, gets it in for two. It's now 96-50. 44 points for Miami, and it's now 96-50. So he scored like almost half of Miami's points today. And Scott Pollard has possession of the basketball. He is going to pass it, fake pass it, and he will get this one in for two. So now we got LeBron James out on the court for the Heat. And now LeBron James, he's going to step back, get this one in for two, and it's now 98-52. LeBron James with 46 points today, 16 of which were in the paint. And now the 12-13 Heat have possession still. Now have the possession, so Udonis Haslem going to pass over to Rashad Lewis. And they did some depth chart substitutions here, so now Rashad Lewis, he is going to score the team's 100th point of the game, and it's now going to be 100-52. So Boston is down by 48, so they got to score some quick points if they don't want to be trailed by 50-some by the end of the game. And we are actually going to take a break. All right, LeBron James is your player of the game for the Miami Heat. We will go over the numbers after the game, but right now there is 1 minute and 24 seconds to go. Shane Battier going to make this one in for 2 points. And it is now 106-59. So now Sam Cassell has possession. Battier picks up, and it becomes a backcourt violation. I don't know what happened to that, but Battier probably had his left foot in at the middle of the line. So now Bosch is going to pick up the steal. So now Chalmers makes the dunk. It's now 108-59. So now they'll probably have 120-some points, Miami, by the end in just about 1 minute. So they'll score at least 12 or 13 more points at least. But LeBron James, I think we're going to pass over to Wade real quick. And now Wade makes that three fly, and it's now going to be 111-61. So we are ahead by 50 points. So now they're going to go up to the paint, gets it in, 43.6 seconds to go. And we're going to pass it over to Battier real quick. And now Battier hits a three. It's now 114-63. And Scott Pollard, he's going to pass over to Sam Cassell. And then Tony Allen with the possession. So now Sam Cassell gets this one in for two. So it's now it will be 117-65 since he makes that three. 22.2 seconds to go. 117-65. And now it is Dwayne Wade hitting a three. And it's going to be 120-65. So Miami is now 120 it'll be like 122 to 65. So we're up by 57. If we make a 3-pointer, then we'll win the game by 60 points. But I don't think we're going to probably score again. But now we send the Boston Celtics home, and the Miami Heat win the series 4-1 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. 122 to 65 is the final here in the 305. And we will either face off against the 97-98 Chicago Bulls or the 88-89 Detroit Pistons. So we're going to show you the statistics right now. All right, LeBron James, 46 points, 5 assists, 7 steals, 1 block, 5 dunks on the day, 7 for 7 from behind the arc. Dwayne Wade, 25 points, 1 assist, 4 steals on the day with 1 dunk. Ray Allen, 14 points, 2 assists, 2 steals on the day, 4 for 4 from behind the arc. Shane Battier, 13 points, 1 rebound, 2 steals on the day for him. Had a dunk there. Mario Chalmers, 8 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. Chris Bosh had 6 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block on the day. For the Boston Celtics, 13 points for Paul Pierce, 2 assists on the day, 2 dunks for him. Rajon Rondo, 12 points, 5 assists. Tony Allen had 11 points and 5 assists as well. Sam Cassell had 9 points and 2 assists. Kevin Garnett, 6 points and 1 steal and had a dunk there. So that basically ends the episode. And this ends the Eastern Conference semifinals. I can't wait for the Eastern Conference finals to begin for our 12-13 Heat. We'll see you guys in the Eastern Conference finals.